Let's go ahead and start with the Picklepedia. Fiery Blowhog. Start by doing the pick carrots. And there's its attack method. Fiery Blowhog, Sus Draconus, Blowhog family. Pearl wants to come in again. Okay. This creature expels a volatile phosphorus compound from its snout that combusts upon contact with air. This fire-breathing ability is dependent upon the air-to-fuel ratio at its mouth, catalyst reaction within the expelled compound, and purification of the compound. Thus, it is highly unlikely that such complex process could cause the spontaneous explosion of a fallen blowhog. This process is also perhaps to avoid risk of spontaneous combustion in the belly of a live specimen. However, one should still treat a fiery blowhog with great care even after its life functions have ceased. Iridescent Flint Beetle, Pili envelopins, Flint Beetle family. Flint beetles are nocturnal, choosing to hide in the grass day by day and stay active at night. These creatures keep undigested food pellets in their stomachs to sustain them through the winter. But given the right stimulus, they will spit them out. Recent research has revealed that these pellets are enveloped in a membrane that seals and preserves them in a sterile, airtight environment. If kept at room temperature, it seems that this pellet membrane will keep its contents fresh for up to 6 months. The membrane may be made from the same substance that gives the exoskeleton of the Flint Beetle its beautiful sheen. Yeah, honestly, I like the look of the Flint Beetle. I think it looks better than it does in Pikmin 1. I think, it looks really nice, and I like its funny looking eyes. Sheer grub, specifically female sheer grubs. You can see they do not go after the pick carrots. They only... Sheer grub. Himigia mandibulosa, mandibulard family. The males of this species are purple and black creatures with tapered mouths, while the females are lighter in color and lack an armored exoskeleton. As with most mandibulards, these creatures have regressed to the point where they have lost both legs and wings. They can be seen crawling around on the ground and are believed to feed on the vegetable extracts from the congealed fluids of expired Pikmin. Wow, that shows that when Pikmin die, they leave, like, congealed fluids. Kind of gruesome. We have the other sheer grubs. Sheer grub. Himigia mandibulosa, mandibulard family. This species is a male sheer grub. Having lost both legs and wings, the male burrows into the soil and waits to ambush small creatures that pass by. This beast's mandibles can be dangerous, making creatures such as Pikmin easy prey. Cloaking Burrownet, Trilobitans reclusiva, Burrownet family. The snake eye pattern on this beast's shell is one of the most distinctive features of the Burrownet family. The red pattern of the cloaking Burrownet and the spikes around its mantle make it easily identifiable while still making it a representative specimen of the Burrownet family. The shell on the cloaking Burrownet's back also provides a frame that fixes its muscular structure in place, and appears to be giving the creature its powerful needle-launching attack. Really? It's not a needle? It's a needle? I thought it was its tongue. Ravenous Whiskerpillar. Looks kind of like the president, don't you think? Ravenous Whiskerpillar. Lepidoptera pluckius. Whiskerpillar family. As this species of insect has only recently been discovered, fully mature specimens have yet to be collected. No molting or metamorphosis has been observed during the observation period, making it unlikely that mature whiskerpillars will be encountered anytime soon. Based on active predation by Pikmin, it is believed that the whiskerpillar's place in the food chain has not changed over time. I didn't even think the Pikmin were so high on the food chain. Mittites. Metavius infiltratus, unknown family. These parasitic insects feed on eggs. Upon reaching maturity, they excrete a special pheromone that attracts females of a particular species, like a bulborb, for example, enticing these females to swallow the Midtites whole. Pikmin, however, seem to dislike the scent. That's why they run around like that. After entering the host female's body, the Midtites lay their own eggs inside the host's eggs just prior to the host spawning. So basically, they basically willingly make themselves prey, and once inside the creature, they lay their eggs in the host's eggs, causing them to reproduce instead of the host that ate them. Kind of creepy, honestly. Ivory Candy Pop Bud. Ivory Candy Pop Bud. Flora niveus Candy Pop family. Research from our most recent expedition has confirmed the presence of candy pop buds in subterranean regions. Considering the microecologies this plant has been found in, one could summarize that it could be found in any cavern regardless of geographic region. Tossing Pikmin into this flower always produces white Pikmin seeds, regardless of the Pikmin tossed in. In many cases, plants with small leaves typically have limited photosynthetic abilities and capabilities, and thus might find alternate means of obtaining nutrients, with parasitic and predatory behavior being most common. The candy pop could be considered one such example. So it can actually harvest photosynthesis because it's underground. Now, purple and white Pikmin, I should note, that can only be obtained via these candy pop buds. They cannot be harvested via onions because they don't have an onion of their own. You might remember at the ending of Pikmin 1, there were many colors of Pikmin that lifted off into the sky, and one of these was purple. But I don't really think it's likely that purple onion actually contained purple Pikmin, because it's not confirmed that if purple Pikmin actually have an onion, or white Pikmin, for example. So it's my personal belief that only certain species of Pikmin actually have onions, and certain species can only be made with these candy pop buds. Creeping Chrysanthemum. Taraxium rovinia chrysanthemum family. Like Pikmin, the Creeping Chrysanthemum is a member of a group of creatures with ambulatory root structures. This creature is known as a mimic, but because it is actually a form of a plant, this label is not entirely accurate. For unknown reasons, the Creeping Chrysanthemum's mimicry does not fool Pikmin, perhaps because they share a similar heritage. It relies on preying upon other creatures to provide sustenance, so it has no need of leaves for photosynthesis. Generally speaking, the role of plants within the ecosystem is as a producer species, thus plants are generally found at the bottom of the food pyramid. However, on this strange planet, the line between producer plants and consumer plants is blurred. So if you notice right there, check it out. Do you notice those, see if I can zoom in right here. Do you notice those little eyes right there? So those are actually the Creeping Chrysanthemum's eyes. That is how you differentiate a Creeping Chrysanthemum from a Margaret, just so you know. Unmarked Spectralids. There's a red one in there too. Unmarked Spectralids. Phenastari prismatis. Flitterby family. When strolling through the forests of this planet, clouds of these creatures are seen dancing overhead, like flower petals drifting in the breeze. The sight of flitterbys dancing in the lush green undergrowth is unforgettable. Flitterby collectors drool over specimen sample boxes lined up in order, highlighting the slight color gradation changes from blue to red to yellow. Such items fetch particularly high prices at auction. I think these high technical butterflies will get me into elite status on digibutter.nerd. I won't do that again until further notice, I promise. Oh wow, the game's slowing down from this. Honeywisp. Nectara fatus. The honeywisp family. This floating life form drifts effortlessly on the winds. Upon death, its physical structure instantly collapses. and as the creature is particularly elusive and difficult to catch, no sample of this specimen could be acquired as of yet. If we could simply recover a live sample, research on the species would likely proceed more smoothly. The problem is, as you can see, it can warp into the 4th dimension, making it difficult to obtain. Common glowcap, Fungi luminarium, glowcap family. The light emitted from this rare mushroom is neither a reflection nor a release of stored light. It grows not only on decomposing trees, but also on soil and rocks. This mushroom's fungal filaments are capable of stabilizing and concentrating pure Hocatadium-111. It is none other than the Hocatadium-111 approaching the point of critical mass that causes the glowcap's blue luminescence. Figwort, Scrophularia xenomia, figwort family. Speaking of which, I really gotta play Xenoblade. This plant offers an excellent example of a non-native species introduced into the ecosystem by some unknown method. Upon introduction, it quickly established a foothold and adapted to the new habitat. This plant's distinct flowers usually exhibit a stunning blue color in early spring, but recent fieldwork has recorded specimens displaying a deep red hue. Although this may represent a sudden deviation in genetics of the species, the red coloration is much more likely an anomaly. Additional reading suggests no significant atmospheric or solar radiation changes have occurred in the ecosystem, leaving open the possibility that soil composition and mineral deposits may have affected petal coloration. Dandelion, Taraxacum officinale, dandelion family. This perennial grows best in locations with full sun exposure. Its flowers boast countless tiny yellow petals packed together in a head. This species seems to live as many weed-like variants as petals, so more detailed research on these plants would be best left to a botanical research specialist. I know a botanical research specialist that lives on another planet we could consult, but we don't know her yet. Horsetail, Equestrius vindico, horsetail family. I know this is probably just like a horse term. This variety of horsetail is prevalent in regions with low nutrient content in the soil. Unlike most other plants, this particular species propagates itself through the release of spores. So that means it's a mushroom? Or a fungus? Margaret. Let me zoom in. As you can see, the Margaret does not have those eyes on its flowers, so that's how you differentiate from a creepy chrysanthemum. Margaret, Luminosus crocuus, chrysanthemum family. This plant's delicate yellow flowers often inspire waves of nostalgia, giving a bittersweet feeling to any who gaze upon them. I can get that. Margaret is the name of my Leavanny in Pokemon Black. Fiddlehead, Violinae orchestrius, fern family. At first glance, this plant resembles the spring used in the ship's sublight engine. Many of its most primitive characteristics remain intact, including its habit of spreading through the dispersal of spores. And we got bigger icons for the bosses. Empress Bulblax. It's impossible to wake up Empress Bulblax in the Picklepedia, unfortunately. Empress Bulblax, Oculus matriarcha, Grubdog family. Initial observation placed doubt on the capability of the Grubdog family to support a strong ant or bee-like social structure, but recent studies show that the family is capable of such complexity. The egg sac of the largest female Grubdog within a given range swells to dramatic proportions in response to environmental changes, such as the sudden depletion in prey species. These females temporarily take on the role of pack matriarch. Also, in pack formation, it has been observed that nearly all males not involved in species reproduction undergo natural sex changes. The characteristics of such specimens are quite intriguing indeed. Burrowing Snagrat, Chiropodus anacondae, Snavian family. The majority of snagrat species lie in wait to ambush and capture prey, with a body type perfectly adapted to such sudden strikes. It violently attacks small, surface-dwelling insects distributed across a relatively wide range. Such subspecies of snagrat suited to varying soil conditions have emerged, making the snagrat the most geographically represented species besides the bulborb. Visually resembling the burrowing snagrat is the burrowing snarrow, with the range of which partially overlaps with the snagrat's range. Well, while the two may appear similar, when pulled from the ground, they can be distinguished by the presence or absence of a tail and wing markings. So, a burrowing snarrow was mentioned in Pikmin 1 during the enemy reel, but it's still never actually been seen. I do hope the burrowing snarrow does appear in Pikmin 4, though. Speaking of Pikmin 4, burrowing snagrat chips? Somebody pinch me! Okay, so let's go ahead to the treasure hoard. I found this fascinating sunseed berry. I found this fascinating fruit while exploring today. The skies cleared up, and I felt peaceful watching the pink flower petals flutter in the wind. During this perilous expedition, it seemed strange to have such soft-hearted, romantic thoughts. If I told my wife about this, I'm sure I'd get laughed at again. A lot of these journal entries are really funny, so that's why I wanted to read them all, even though it would probably be a long time if be just reading text, especially since I'm going to be premiering these videos. But whatever, I don't care. Toxic toadstool. Ooh, I like where it was placed. It's like placed on that I don't know where this is. It's like this dubious morsel doesn't look like it would be very agreeable with my innards. However, I bet Louis would try a bite. His appetite is insatiable, and he's always cooking up tasty meals. I'm glad that on this expedition, our ship's reactor can power our life support systems indefinitely. This will give us all the time we need to thoroughly examine all of the treasures we recover. I don't care if the president wants us to hurry. I've had enough of his hassling. I think I'll move more slowly just to cause him indigestion. Well, prepare to be fired, Olimar, because, you're, employers, and you don't like it when you go slow. I know from experience. Especially as someone who worked at Texas Roadhouse once. Pilgrim Bulb. It's actually near the same place where... Yeah, it's in the same place it was... Actually, no, it's close to the same place where it was dug up. Grassy plains and meadows on this planet are carpeted with brilliantly colored flowers in bloom. When I entered the atmosphere in my descent from space, I was stunned by by the vibrant sight. The other day, a group of white Pikmin under my command detected an object buried under the surface and immediately began to dig up this colossal flower bowl. Somehow, it hadn't yet sprouted into a towering flower. I plan to take it back to Hokate and grow it there. My people will hail me as a botanical genius, and the mayor will may even make me Supreme Flower Commander. Oh, I love these journal entries so much. Super Stick Textile. Gamma tape, gamma tape, gamma tape, gamma tape, gamma tape, gamma tape. Try saying that 5 minutes best. Gamma tape, gamma tape, gamma tape, gamma tape, gamma tape, gamma tape. I have once again discovered a completely undocumented species of Pikmin. These white Pikmin can find and dig up items that are buried entirely underground. We never would have found this priceless treasure without them. Priceless? It's only 80 Pokos. It was worth less than that bottle cap that you brought home. Thankfully, it's the perfect stuff to patch a hole I just noticed in the ship's hull. P.S. I named the cave where I first encountered the white Pikmin the White Flower Garden. Petrified Heart. The vivid color of red stone reminds me of my wife's eyes when they burn with rage. Just between you and me, I've noticed that lately she's been getting more wrinkles. Now that I think about it, I probably caused her a lot of stress. When I return to Hokate, I'll take her on a long vacation. Aww. Hope you get home soon, Olimar, which is not likely. Luck Wafer! What a strange pattern. When I look at it, I can feel a good fortune smiling down upon me. If I could just buy a lottery ticket right now, I'm sure I'd win. Strife Monolith. Computers view the world in ones and zeros, but my people are different. Our world isn't simply black or white, right or wrong. Everybody is different. Maybe one day the ship will understand that, and maybe one day it won't give me sass when I ask it to collect a slimy specimen. Yeah, everyone is different. Maybe a little bit too different at that. Just saying. Dream Architect. It's a Game & Watch ball. At night, I have nothing to do to keep me occupied. I've been searching for something to dull the boredom, but every time I find something I want to play with, it's broken. This object is a great example. It looks fascinating, but I can't get it to function. I guess all I have to do is write in this journal. Stone of Glory. This is a peculiar object. Just looking at it fills me with a powerful sense of nostalgia. Now that I think about it, the Pikmin had a curious look on their faces when they carried it. Or maybe it was just my imagination. I wonder if one day we'll find a disc of Pikmin 2 lying around. Cosmic Archive, or Archive, as some people made fun of me calling it during that Ninja Kiwi Archive video I talked about. The cave we searched today was lined with flame-spewing spouts. The temperature in the cave was absolutely stifling. Oh, that reminds me, I completely forgot to tell Louie about Red Pikmin. He's so quiet, so I sometimes forget he's even there. This item I salvaged from the cave seems to be some kind of storage device, but I have no way to play back its contents. Well, if you ever figure out a way, trust me, you'll love it. Survival Ointment. In a survival situation, the most important things are water, courage, and a first aid kit. I've got water and an endless supply of courage, but I don't have a first aid kit. Sometimes I don't have a whole lot of motivation either. I know that feeling. I may be a daring explorer, but sometimes I just want to loaf around all day and sleep. Wait, what if the president reads this journal? I'd never dream of slacking on the job. Yeah. Alien Billboard. There are several different patterns drawn on this object's surface. They appear to be characters or letters. Characters being like letters. Or numbers. I can't make any sense of them, but this is just an educated guess. But I wonder if this object is some kind of alien bulletin board. The size of the object seems about right for it. Drought Ender. Today I delivered an impromptu lecture on the basics of wilderness survival. As Louie's superior, it's my responsibility to teach them these things. Walking around as much as we do generates intense thirst, so water becomes very important. I told Louie that we had to ration our water carefully. That's what I was thinking until I found this. I was so parched that I couldn't help myself. I drank all the water in the canteen. It tasted so good. But when I turned around, Louie gave me a cold stare. You mean like the stare he gave to the red Pikmin on day one? Geographic projection. The interior of this hemisphere contains a chip coated with charts detailing a new region. I explored this forest the last time I was here, but it's clear that it's undergone some dramatic changes. The plants and animals have also evolved significantly. I've given this forest a new name, the Awakening Wood. I must begin to form a hypothesis to explain why the forest changed so rapidly. Yeah, what are you saying there? If I look around a little bit, maybe I can zoom out a little bit to show it to you guys. If the Awakening Wood might actually look a little bit, familiar to some. That is because the Awakening Wood is actually reused source material from the Forest of Hope from the first game. That's really just common practice in a lot of games, reusing things from previous games to make sequels, and that's kind of why sequels typically happen. But at least there is an in-game explanation for it, even though I sort of question how it changed so rapidly since the last month he was here. Prototype Detector. Today we search a subterranean lair swarming with carnivorous bugs. The name the whole beast immediately came to mind. The convenient contraption I found there has become an invaluable treasure-seeking tool. When it approaches a piece of treasure, the gadget beeps and the needle moves to the right. Well, the treasure in an area has been collected. The device powers down. When we left Hokate, I thought we'd never be able to pay off the company's debt, but thanks to this gadget, I'm feeling optimistic about the outcome of this daring mission. 5-man knapsack. I'd love to lay down in the grass, bask in the sun, and take an afternoon nap, but with all these Pikmin around following me, I can never seem to relax. I should remember to press X to dismiss the Pikmin and then press S and hold X to take a nap. Last time I tried it, the Pikmin picked me up while I slept and carried me away to their onion. Hold your space, horses, Pikmin. I'm not a piece of treasure. I'm not a pellet or a piece of treasure. Then I woke up. Great galaxies! It was all just a dream, was it? Well, yeah. Okay, guys. So, next time at Pikmin 2, we're going to enter the perplexing pool for the first time. There are a couple more above ground treasures that we can get in the Awakening Wood. Actually, I think there's only one we can get. Yeah, there's only one above ground treasure we can get left in the Awakening Wood, so it wouldn't really make sense to go back there right now. So next time in Pikmin 2, we're going to be heading to the perplexing pool, and our new abilities there will allow us to get the remaining above ground treasures in the Awakening Wood, okay? Did you see that shooting star in the background? Something else I could point out is that, actually, I think I'll point it out in the next episode. Okay, next time on Pikmin 2, Perplexing Pool. See you guys then.